Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 26 of Pocket Edition. I am your host Sully. Today I am joined by Maximo, and today we are talking about Butthurt Gamers.
The best title.
The best title. That should actually be Battlefield V's actual title, because that's pretty much how it's panning out.
Yeah.
No, in reality, we're here to give you basically kind of reaction, thoughts, opinions to the trailer. It's out, the reveal trailer, of course, we're talking about. It is, of course, set in World War II. And yeah, then we're going to jump into a little bit of drama surrounding basically women being in the game, vibrancy of the landscape and color palette, and prosthetic
Historical
limbs.
accuracy.
Historical accuracy, that's another one. There's a whole can of worms that people are really kicking up a stink about. But first,
Yes.
Max, how have you been? What have you been doing?
I've been good, dude. I've been playing a lot of games, prepping for E3. Got a lot of cool, exciting appointments set up. A lot of cool games coming out. Just kind of keeping my head down until the days start. Just kind of been grinding out what I can beforehand. Mark and I actually even recorded a few split screen episodes I'm looking to get out before I leave. Lots of cool stuff. A lot of stuff in the works.
Lies.
Lies?
Yet to see these split screen episodes.
I know. I have to edit them.
I've seen one appear in the broadcast. I think it might have been 2, and then it's like, yeah, we recorded another 5, and then they've just never come to fruition.
Hey, there have been like 5 on the streams. Yeah. There have been multiple episodes.
All right, sorry, I must have missed a couple. Like most GameCast projects, I thought it failed to come to fruition, but I'll take you at your word. Anywho, are you going to E3?
Yes.
Damn.
I'm going with the Coalition again.
Nice, awesome. Now Coalition, they're the UK-based gang, right?
Correct. And that was like the start of everything. My start in this industry. And all that sort of stuff. So it's exciting.
Cool. And we'll of course be without Max, unfortunately, but we will also be covering E3 here and there, hopefully with some Pocket Edition episodes going up covering the big press conferences, being Microsoft, Sony. I'm assuming Nintendo will have a Nintendo Direct come out around about E3, or do you think they're just doing their own thing? Okay.
They're doing it, I think it's Monday is when it's scheduled.
Okay, cool.
Which is exciting during the day over there. It's like in early day, I think early afternoon. And I know Count took off I think every day for work, and he's just going to be nonstop.
I tried to do
covering everything for the channel.
I tried to get time off, and they were just like, no, unfortunately. So all of my activities will be happening after hours, but that's probably going to work out okay considering I'm on a completely different time zone. So E3 kind of happens at night here anyway. But it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be an interesting year at E3. And we might actually have to have a whole episode dedicated towards Bethesda as well, because I think Bethesda's going to have some pretty cool announcements.
Oh, yeah. They're having their dude, you know that Starfield game that's been rumored?
Yeah.
Well, like, we know it's coming. But I just learned yesterday it's supposed to tie in the Elder Scrolls and Fallout universes, because we know Starfield is supposed to take place in space. That's not even a question, obviously, because it's called Starfield. Mm-hmm. But apparently, like, it's supposed to tie in those two universes as well as be a new IP. And I'm not sure how to feel about that. Like, that's for another time, that discussion. But just some food for thought there. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And then they're doing that stream right now that's been up for like 24 hours now, give or take, and there's been nothing.
Interesting. More food for thought, though. EA, Battlefield V, gameplay. What are we going to see? And well, more importantly, let's just jump into the topic. The trailer. What were your thoughts on the trailer, the reveal trailer?
Okay, so first watch, I was like, this looks fun as hell. It reminded me of back in like the quote unquote good old days of Battlefield with like 1943. We were talking a little bit before the stream, or like that little Battlefield Heroes free to play game, which isn't really the good old days. That was kind of a failed experiment, but it had that kind of like cartoony, goofy aesthetic that is hard to take as seriously as like say Battlefield 4 or Battlefield 1, that hardcore realism. It seems like they're going back that route, which in a way makes sense. You know, the origins of Battlefield were World War II. and they kind of had that goofier aesthetic, so they're going back to that with Battlefield V. It's possible that it won't be goofier once it comes out. It's just, I don't know, I got this, you said like that vibrant grass, and it's just everything, it's just not as realistic. It just has like a cartoony kind of sheen to all of it, at least in the trailer did. And I'm pretty sure that trailer is like in-engine gameplay, because I'm sure you remember it like converts into gameplay like mid-trailer, which was really cool. And there is just shit going on nonstop. Like that was, I hope that's a regular thing as well. Like the second, I believe you play as the female character, the second she picks up the gun, shit's just going down nonstop. Like she's gunning down planes, they're just crashing all around you. People are running everywhere. There's trucks flying by, tanks and everything. It's just hell.
Dude,
it's like what you always imagine Battlefield to be, but it usually ends up just you running across the battlefield, just empty, waiting for something to happen.
It's certainly as chaotic as what I'd imagine war would be. But dude, what if that trailer, what if it's not even a trailer? What if that's just a cinematic cutscene that transitions into real gameplay? Like, what if that's something out of one of their story vignettes or the campaign?
Yes.
Like,
I was thinking that as well. And, well, it is multiplayer. Like, that part is multiplayer. I believe it shows, like, the squad and everything, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it does.
But, yeah, I was thinking that as well. I was like, what if that's, like, an intro or something like that? That would be very cool. Because I was wondering how they did that. Just straight up. Like,
it's very smooth.
How did they make that conversion?
We've seen heaps of games, like, transition from cutscenes to gameplay, like, almost seamlessly these days anyway. So it's definitely possible. Yeah, I don't know, but my kind of initial thoughts on the trailer were its vibrancy. That's what grabbed me straight away. Like we've seen with Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4. Battlefield 1, I think, was a different story that had a bit more kind of color in it. And, you know, mostly Battlefield 3 and 4 were very, like the color palette was very like gray, browns, nothing exciting. And that's what initially hit me was the lighting, the god rays, the vibrancy of the grass. I found it really refreshing. Like, it looks really exciting. I mean, obviously that's why they're doing it, because it's visually exciting and it grabs you. So, I mean, from that aspect, I really enjoy kind of the aesthetics of the visuals. But it looks fun. It looks fun. Like, it looks like every other freaking chaotic Battlefield Call of Duty game going around. Like, it's chaos on a battlefield.
Yeah.
What was interesting...
Not very authentic.
No. No. What I did find interesting, though, which I believe the DICE have actually come out and acknowledged, was that what you see in the trailer is representative of features in the game. So you'll see things like the player diving sideways, lunging backwards, getting knocked to the ground when that weird javelin missile hits. These are features that are going to be in the game. So that's kind of an interesting evolution of the gameplay mechanics, you know, being the typical just dive prone, crouch, or jump. You know, the fact that you're getting knocked back by explosives, you know, onto your butt, lunging sideways, forwards, back. Apparently you can leap through windows now. That's really interesting. Nobody's doing that, to the best of my knowledge, at the moment.
Yeah, I agree. And especially like the fact that you can still use your gun when you get knocked back, that could be hell. It's like you walk in and like, they had claymores World War II, right? I believe they did. Yeah, like a trip mine. Like you get knocked back as you walk into a house and it's just smoke and you're just gunning into it as you're like flying backwards with like an MG42. Like that's cool as hell. That's very, very cool. Not many games allow you, if any, allow you to do that. And that's awesome.
No, I like it.
I know that some people are like worried about that sort of stuff. Also the ability to dodge in every direction. Like that's cool. What big first person shooter allows you to do that? I can't think of one.
I'm wondering if it's going to be maybe stamina based. Much like Sprint, because obviously if you could lunge in any given direction as much as you want, that's going to create issues, I think, gameplay-wise. Could you imagine that?
Cool that would be people just like fucking spinning around the battlefield to move.
Dude, could you imagine the weird dance videos we're going to get? Like the choreography and dance. Remember Destiny dancing? That was great.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Yeah, but moving on, let's jump into the drama surrounding the trailer. What are your thoughts on Battlefield V not being an accurate representation of World War II? What do you think of the prosthetics, which I'm assuming, by prosthetics I mean the prosthetic limbs that she's sporting in the trailer, obviously being a representation of customization in the final game, What do you think of her being in the game? Women in World War II. God forbid women be in our video games.
So I have a lot to say on this.
Are you butthurt?
No.
Thank God. Hashtag this is your battlefield.
Yeah. So I have a lot to say on this, actually.
Right, take it away.
So first off, the prosthetic limbs, I learned that was a very real thing in World War II. I just don't know if those soldiers were on the front lines. That's something that's sort of great to me. So the thing with Battlefield is a lot of the argument is around, oh, it's just a game. Why do you expect Battlefield to be realistic? It was never realistic, this, that, and that. First off, that's kind of false. Battlefield has always been grounded in realism. Yes, there has been some liberties taken because it's a game. But in terms of a lot of things, Battlefield has always been grounded in realism in terms of like the soldiers, the people fighting in it, this, and that, and that. Like that's always been a shtick for Battlefield.
It's set a precedent, hasn't it? For
yes,
their own series.
And saying, yes, exactly. And saying, oh, you shouldn't expect this game to be grounded in reality, that's a dumb argument in my opinion. However, that doesn't mean I just looking at the game, it looks fun as hell to me. But I understand why people are getting annoyed about the historical inaccuracies of a woman on the front, a British woman on the front lines with blue face paint and a prosthetic arm. That's like the first thing they shove into the trailer. I can understand how that can bother some people who are looking for historical accuracy, because that's just like, that almost seems like DICE is just kind of shoehorning that in and really just throwing it in your face. I can understand how that could be annoying for historical accuracy. At the end of the day, it doesn't really bother me, but then here I come to another kind of stalemate. Is at the end of the day, people are saying, oh, it's just a game, right? Who cares about like a game? So the historical accuracy people are like, oh, this is a game representing World War II. Why did they do World War II if they're going to do this historical inaccuracies? Why couldn't they have just done literally anything else, like its own alternate universe timeline and everything? And also the it's a game argument, I feel like kind of renders moot the women and other underrepresented groups struggling so hard to be represented in games. I feel like if at the end of the day we say, oh, it's just a game, then all their work they put into being represented in the first place is kind of rendered moot. And also these people aren't even taking it seriously now. Like the historical accuracy people, they're just like, oh, I don't care if you want to be represented in games. This is trash. So I can see where both sides are coming from. And I almost feel like DICE could have been better off just making just like not a World War II game, just the exact same thing, just not having it set in World War II and just being able to do what they want without any of this backlash. People would have taken the female perspective a lot more seriously, the female integration a lot more seriously, and we wouldn't have had these issues because I don't know, like I see where both sides are coming from, and I just feel like this could have been handled a lot better by DICE in the first place, and none of these issues would have happened because I feel like no one's taking the other side seriously now, and there's just this kind of petty fighting at the end of the day, and it's really frustrating.
Yeah, and without kind of repeating what you've already said, you very much represent my general thoughts towards the whole situation. In regards to why couldn't they just have had an alternate universe or a different setting and done whatever the hell they wanted, well, my opinion on that is World War II is like a setting, right? It grounds it in reality. I think as soon as you start throwing around it's an alternate timeline or a universe, or it's like Wolfenstein or something like that, it loses something. Like your general kind of consumer may not get it, and World War II is something so recognizable. Everybody, you can just get it. You understand it by just reading the title. You know, how do you sell something that's like an alternate universe with women wearing face paint? You know, I think World War II, the setting is just that decision to kind of ground the series. I mean, look at Call of Duty when it's gone into the future. Sales are significantly less. People just don't get it. They can't relate to it. It's this far-set, futuristic sci-fi shooter. It just doesn't grab people the same way as something like World War II, something they can easily recognize and relate to, like they've seen it all before. I mean, the whole women in, Battlefield specifically, I'm still in the camp of, I don't care. It's a video game. Like, I am in that camp. I get where people are coming from with kind of historical accuracy, but there was never, like, DICE have never said, to the best of my knowledge, take this with a pinch of salt, that we're here to create the most realistic war simulators on the planet. With 100% historical accuracy. If they've said that, then I'm really shooting myself in the foot. I don't believe they have.
I don't believe they have either.
They're here to create like entertainment and get a return on their investment. And what they're doing here is, one, they're being progressive by having a female, at least female playable characters, in multiplayer. It could very well be a female lead protagonist. Or, it could be, like Battlefield 1 had, story vignettes. So she could just be
That's what
one.
they're doing.
Okay, so she could be one of the main characters. Great. I don't care if she's on the front line, and that never happened in World War II. Like I said, it's a video game. Let's relax. Let's enjoy it as entertainment. If you want to see if you want to see World War II for what it was, go watch a documentary. I am all for the developers, being DICE, having creative freedom. Do what you want with your IP. And to be honest, I think they would have lost either way. If they'd had a reskinned Battlefield 1, you know what I mean by reskin, didn't take any chances. Yeah. It was the same formula, same color palette, exactly the same, except you had a new set of story vignettes and World War II weapons. They'd be copying it from it's just the same old shit time and time again. Exactly what Call of Duty's getting right now. They'd be slammed for not taking a risk. They'd be slammed for not being progressive enough by not having playable female characters in the game, or a female lead. The social justice warriors would be coming out of all the crevices on the planet, slamming it. And like you said, nobody wins. Like, you can't please either camp, because now that we do have a female in the game, and they're rolling the dice on the formula, the other side of the camp's kind of kicking up a stink as well. You can't win. And it's frustrating as well, because I think we take it too seriously. It's meant to be entertainment.
Yep. And that's the really frustrating thing, is at the end of the day, I'm just like, this game looks fun as hell. Like,
I agree.
The slightest shit who I'm playing as in the game and everything. And that's what's really struggling for me at the end of the day. And as much as I can see the logic behind both sides, absolutely. I'm just like, the
hardcore fans, I get it. Like, they're used to having that realistic experience. I understand where they're coming from, but I think, we just need to relax. They need to relax a little bit.
And what you brought up is actually a great defense on the who cares side. Is like, there have been so many World War II games that have done the same exact thing. Go play those. Like, Battlefield 5 is trying to do something progressive and interesting with the World War II theater, and that's really cool, actually. Like, they should be praised for that, I'd say.
Would you like to do something interesting, Max?
Yes.
In regards to go play those other World War II games, I think he's the creative director, or the director of DICE. I've forgotten his name. I've blanked on it. I read his response to all this drama, and it was very polite and well-mannered, but he's basically said, we wanted to roll the dice, we wanted it to be kind of progressive, and, we wanted to create entertainment, and he acknowledged where people were coming from. He acknowledged both sides of the fence, much like we've done now. But he did say, if you want like an authentic World War II experience, he literally listed other titles. So I thought that was interesting.
Call of Duty World War II.
Oh God!
Just came out.
No. It's interesting though that maybe this is a kind of a liberating moment for Battlefield. Maybe they're going to start rolling the dice a little bit more with settings and customization, gameplay features, women in their game. It's going to be interesting, but at the same time, it's a double-edged sword, because you stray too far like Call of Duty and you lose people. But I honestly feel like they've struck the balance here. I think it's good. Like, as long as, in terms of women being in the game, as long as we're not being fed some, super progressive, feminazi propaganda that's been pushed on the studio or the developers, great. Just give me a fun story with a female lead. Fantastic. Let's do it.
That would also defeat their entire the entire like fight, the entire progressive movement is because the entire thing is to see women as equal. And just to see everyone as equal, you know. And you're right, like doing that whole feminazi propaganda, that would defeat the entire point. The point is just let us play as females and just be treated the same, and everything is fine. Like, just you wouldn't notice. Like, at the end of the day, you're playing in first person, man. Like, yes, you'll see other female soldiers on the battlefield, but like who?
Yeah.
Like,
who cares?
Yeah. Like, cool. Like, good. There's diversity. Like, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I don't really see how that's a bad thing. Like, if it really, like, I've seen the arguments like, we're playing this for an immersive World War II. Your immersion that much. You need to do the. I feel like that's more of a you thing than it is a battle. I'm sorry. I understand the need for historical accuracy and all that stuff, but this is the time we're in right now. And at the end of the day, representation is very important. And I mean, go play. I hate, like, I know that argument can be discredited fairly quickly. I could see someone in the comments right now, oh, go play another World War II game is just like an easy out. But right now, this is the game that DICE wanted to make. And they didn't want to make just another World War II game. At least they're changing it up. You know, with Battlefield 1, they changed things up too. They went a World War I perspective. And, you know, they added horses and shit. Like, that was cool. And they're trying something new again. And this is how it is.
Yeah, like, we can't punish these creators and studios for trying something new. Even if it does, you know, to a degree fly in the face of historical accuracy. Because, again, it is a video game. You know, as soon as we start trying to bottle these developers up, we're going to get stagnant and there's not going to be progression or change.
And that's been this entire fucking generation has been pretty stagnant.
Absolutely. So. Anyway, Max, any final thoughts on the issue? Or Battlefield V in general?
I feel like we wrapped it up pretty much. At the end of the day, it looks fun as hell.
Yeah, I'm going to pick it up. I'm actually excited for this. I was excited for Battlefield 1, but after seeing this reveal trailer and the new features, gameplay features that are apparently coming, I am stoked. I'm going to pick this up. This looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah. All right, guys, as per usual, please remember to leave your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments. If you'd like to add yours, be sure to leave it. As well, feel free to join us on our Discord server. We regularly chat about topics that we've just covered here on GameCast. Be warned, there is also a lot of sexual innuendo, so if you're I'm joking. It's not too bad, is it, Max? It's pretty good.
Tacos. That's all I have to say is tacos.
That in itself is sexual innuendo. Anyway, so join us on Discord. You can find the link for that down below in the description box. You can also find Max's channel, Maximo, down below in the description box as well, where you'll also find mine too. As per usual, guys, thanks for listening. This has been Pocket Edition episode 26, and we'll see you for 27 next week. Have a good one.